I don't understand the term quarantine weight. You literally have just always been fat. You not adhering to orthorexic norms by slowing down and eating what you want finally gave your body the ability to push itself out of the constant starvation mode it was in. Gaining a couple of pounds during quarantine is completely expected because they closed down the gyms. It's not the reason you're 700 pounds though. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back to r/Fatlogic, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and to see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you have not already, subscribe and turn on notifications. Oakley dokley, let's go. Man, there are plenty of reasonable criticisms of Discovery, but when you see people demanding to know why there is a fat woman in their Star Trek, you really get an idea of how many people think an idealistic vision of the future means one where all of the people they hate are gone. I'll tell you this right now, I have not seen Star Trek Discovery, but I've been looking into new shows to watch, so maybe if I happen to get the streaming service it's on, but I'll tell you this right now, I don't know if it's featured in the show, but the comment said something about there being fitness standards for cadets and new recruits and basically all that stuff, but also there's this wonderful thing called the replicator machine, which is this really cool, basically 3D printing food, so God forbid one person be a little chubby. I mean, when it all comes down to it, hardcore fans are going to complain about pretty much anything they don't find exactly to their specifications, but if it's a show that you like, then it's a show you like. Doesn't matter what type of characters they have in there or not. Plus, you can almost guarantee that I'd be using that replicator machine to make margaritas. If nothing you can personally do will permanently change your body size, then you are free to spend your money and time and energy doing literally anything else. You are free, so go be free. I feel like this all was said without realizing that there are consequences tied to actions. Like if you are 700 pounds or however heavy it need be in order for this to happen, and you want to go on a plane, sometimes they will ask you to pay for a ticket for a person that isn't there. I legitimately have no idea how heavy you need to be for them to charge you for 2 seats, but it happens. If health was actually your concern, you wouldn't diet. That is literally the opposite of what you need to do. That's like wondering why your car is not running right, but you're realizing you're putting diesel in it. Imagine posting about wanting a flat stomach in 2021. Embarrassing, cringe, unhinged. Yeah, you know, imagine thinking you had a statement and a point with this. Oh yeah, and by the way, congrats on preaching that whole double standard, how you can make fun of somebody else's body as long as it's not the same type of body as yours. Doctors are seriously not taught how to critically read scientific literature. It's a huge problem. Yeah, you know, what do they know? They only went to medical school to get a PhD and a doctorate degree. Totally not like they know a whole lot more than you. While you're at it, why don't you go to a mechanic and then tell them, oh yeah, I know more about my own car than you. We should be calling weight loss surgery what it is: voluntary amputation. So by that logic, if you die from morbidly obese, does that mean that that was a voluntary coma? Because honestly, it just kind of seems like you're willing to swing in any other which way direction except pointing a finger at yourself. Some stuff about having skinny friends as a fat girl. My friend is a thin girl, but she has a bigger butt/boobs and a small waist. This is what most men think of as curvy. She thinks it's quirky and okay to call herself fat in front of me, as though she is waiting for me to say, no you're not, look how big I am compared to you. Whenever we go out, guys will always pick her out of the group and try to talk to her. She doesn't understand that this hurts me. It's not that I want to be chased by men, it's that I now know I'm not good enough. It's like when you are in a gym class and you are the last person to be picked into a group. That's what it feels like. She doesn't understand what it's like to be a bigger girl when going to clubs or parties. She doesn't understand why I don't just talk to guys and dance with them like she does. It's because I'm not confident. I'm constantly being compared to her. I'm the duff to every guy there. She doesn't understand what it's like to be a fat girl in a world made for skinny girls. That phobia in the medical field kills more than being a fat person. This from a person who keeps getting the diagnosis fat instead of focusing on the real issues and diseases that are making life harder and painful. I am incredibly tired. Yeah, don't you know, it's not the obesity epidemic, it's the fear of being in the obesity range. That's the real killer there. Hula hoops for adults losing weight. That actually looks kinda cool. Can you add a CW or TW for this for weight loss and fat phobia? I didn't need to see this post, to be quite honest. Please explain to the class how a frickin' hula hoop gives you PTSD episodes like veterans and fireworks. I can understand the trigger warnings if it actually is something that gives you anxiety, but slapping it on everything just because it upsets you that's not good. Or even in lighter stuff where it's tied to stuff where phobias are associated with them, like spiders, yeah, that's an understandable thing. The hula hoop, not really. We fill our plates with delicious dishes while preoccupied about what this food will do to our bodies. This is the history. Early colonizers panicked that eating North American foods would give them fat indigenous bodies. We shamefully obsess over the consumption incorrectly focused on our bodies rather than colonialism. Yeah, way to go saying that Native Americans were just inherently fat. Being told to lose just 10% of body weight is still a diet. It still includes all the risks of dieting, including weight cycling and developing an eating disorder. It's just another way for the medical community to F with fat people. Yeah, you know, because just changing up a couple of things, it could be just as simple as, say, not drinking soda every day and you get to that 10%. It's not like that's gonna start getting you any good habits going. Ooh, no, that's spooky. If you aren't pro-fat, any of your social justice creds are BS. You can't be pro-black if you aren't pro-fat. You can't be pro-disability if you aren't pro-fat. You can't be pro-woman if you aren't pro-fat. You can't be pro-queer if you aren't pro-fat. Ah yes, you can't be pro any of those, even though there is no correlation absolutely at any point in time between pro-fat and any of those. I kinda want to see what those quoted tweets were though, because sometimes you get some interesting comments on those. I was told the other day by one of my students something. He looked at my badge and then at me and said, "You've lost weight, good job." Since fatness isn't a bad thing and is actually a minority status, it felt like someone telling a black person, "You are less black now, congratulations." Like, am I the only one who sees it that way and how absolutely wrong it is? Like congratulating a gay person after a session of conversion therapy saying they're more straight now. Imagine if doing that was as normalized as congratulating someone on weight loss. Imagine. Okay, well, you do realize that there's no correlation between general health and the being black or gay, right? I couldn't possibly expect that point to get across. In a culture that wants you to eat as little as possible, binge eating is a form of rebellion. If you think of yourself as weak, think again. Yeah, way to go, just sucker punching anybody with the actual eating disorder. The WHO claims that obesity is preventable. They also believe that homosexuality was a mental illness until May of 1991. So forgive me for not having much faith in the WHO, and for those of you who say it's not the same thing because being fat is a result of poor decisions. The cliche everything in moderation advice wouldn't exist without diet culture telling us that everything needs to be controlled. Sure, variety is great, but we must first let go of the diet rules that have been drilled into us since childhood, and sometimes that losing control control and having no moderation. I only eat usually one small meal a day. I'm fat. It's due to not eating enough. You're beautiful, though. You might be saying you might only be eating one meal, but how many times you snacking per day? This is true, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. If someone doesn't want to sleep with a fat person, that's 100% fine. But it's also fatphobia. If someone doesn't want to sleep with a BIPOC, I'm not going to force them. But it's also racism. All bodies are lovable. You literally just said fatphobia. Like, God forbid somebody doesn't want to sleep with you. That's not the end of the world. And if they don't want to sleep with you, that does not make them the scum of the earth. I feel this. Also, what the frick is it with being so hard to find decent plus-sized athletic clothes? The fat phobes are always telling us to lose weight, but we are not allowed to have cute exercise clothes, and we get made fun of at the gym. Like, what do you want us to do? Magically exercise in our houses and then emerge skinny? The I'm just saying this for their health people can go F themselves. If they were honest, they would welcome fat people in gyms with a fanfare and a red carpet. They would say, great job, or you'll get better, have faith at every fat beginners. They would campaign for comfortable and flattering athletic clothes in enormous sizes. They would do whatever in their power for fat people to feel welcome in public spaces. Weirdly, only body positive people care about these things. You know, the same people who are always accused of promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. Almost as if fat shaming people for health reasons is just an excuse for taking out their own frustration and insecurities on marginalized people without consequences. Almost. If you get some flashy clothes or whatever this fanfare thing is and go to the gym, it's most likely you're going to get some sort of attention. Like, I know for myself, I would not want to have just random people staring at me when I'm doing my workout, because so I would just wear whatever I can get, which is literally just a big baggy Green Lantern shirt and basketball shorts. And also, it kind of seems like that whole red carpet and somebody saying you'll get better, have faith, kind of seems like, yeah, it would be a jab at you, because it makes you feel like you aren't doing much. If moving your body has been complicated in the past, learning to move differently is going to be complicated. You might need to stop moving your body completely to be able to start moving from an authentic place again. Or maybe, just maybe, it's because you're 500 pounds and your weight is pressing on your joints, making it hard and hurtful for those joints to move. So if anything, losing weight would be a really good thing for your joints. It might not be the easiest thing to get started, but once you get that momentum, you have a really good thing going for you. I mean, no matter how inclusive, progressive, leftist, queer, LGBTQ you believe your space or organization or your circle to be, if you allow exclusion or humiliation of fat people or attach conditions to them being in that space, being healthy in process of losing weight, etc., you are still reinforcing capitalism, racism, ableism, and cis-heteropatriarchy. You cannot be fatphobic and leftist is what I'm saying, because fatphobia is rooted in white Xtian patriarchal capitalism. This is not up for debate at this point. I'm sorry, I think I lost a couple of brain cells reading that. What? You mean to tell me that there's a weight limit to having a certain political opinion now? Is that what this just said? A lot of the people who have had to work for thinness are the most into policing its values by devaluing fat people. It's like getting into a good neighborhood and becoming a not in my backyard type. It's protecting an investment that only earns returns if fatphobia continues. If fat people are treated decently and not discriminated against in employment, for example, then there is no longer a literal economic advantage to investing in being thin. People all have to make their own choices in an impossible world, and you know that's okay. People make choices for health and promotions and various reasons. It's all good. I'm just saying, people need to back away from continuing to protect their investment by by actively promoting and dehumanization of other people. Hey, you just said it's all good. Don't be one of those people that says everything is welcome, but then start your double standard with the phrase but. But with that is going to have to be it with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, and if you have not already, subscribe and turn on notifications. Also check out another video or two. The engagement is awesome, because I'm pretty sure that the videos could need it, because unfortunately the Fatlogic videos tend to do the lesser amounts, and when it comes to subscribers, it's the only time I see a negative amount during how many subscribers I get per days, which kinda is a little sketchy and weird. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.